Welcome to AI for Good, the leading action-oriented, global and inclusive United Nations platform on AI. Organized by ITU, in partnership with 40 UN sister organizations, and co-convened with Switzerland. The goal of AI for Good is to identify practical applications of AI to advance the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and scale those solutions for global impact. In today's session, we're counting on you to use the live video wall feature to ask questions and post comments to help create an engaging discussion. We encourage you to stay until the end to chat, connect, ask questions, and network with our distinguished panelists and world-class AI experts in the neural network. It is now time to kick off the session and welcome our first speaker. The floor is
Hello, everyone. It is a privilege to guide today's conversation on the intersection of neurotechnology, artificial intelligence, and human rights. These emerging fields have the potential to transform not only how we understand the human mind, but also how we interact with and shape the world around us. Neurotechnologies undoubtedly have potential societal benefits. However, there are global concerns over the scarce legal protection of human dignity, privacy, and fundamental freedoms. Neurorights represent the new frontier in human rights protection. As we continue to explore and leverage advances in neuroscience and neurotechnologies, we must ensure that these developments do not compromise our essence as human beings. To address these challenges, as Senator, I presented the General Law on Neurorights and Neurotechnologies Bill. This pioneering initiative is innovative not just because of the concepts, but in the legislative process, in the way it was constructed, and as one of the results of the collaborative work of experts of the National Artificial Intelligence Alliance in Mexico. The ANIA, the National AI Alliance, was launched at the Senate of Mexico as a multi-stakeholder, inclusive, multidisciplinary, and forward-thinking platform to create policies that address the complexities of emerging technologies. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to everyone who contributed to the development of the General Law on Neurorights and Neurotechnologies. Their names are in the bill initiative, but especially to Dr. Karen Herrera, Dr. Ana Hibi Becerril, Dr. Eric Garcia, Jesus Olamendi, Dr. José Marinaro, Dr. José Manuel Muñoz, and Luis Ricardo Sánchez. So as we embark on this conversation, I encourage us to consider not just the opportunities these technologies bring, but also the responsibilities they impose. The future of neurotechnology and artificial intelligence is being shaped now, and it is our duty to ensure these advancements uphold human rights and protect the essence of what makes us human. Thank you for being here today, and allow me to introduce three of the experts who participated in the construction of this bill. Dr. Karen Herrera Ferrá is an independent and global consultant on ethical, legal, social, cultural, economic, and political issues and concerns on the development and use of neuroscience, neurotechnologies, and AI. She's founder and former president of the Association of Neuroethics. She is member of the Council of Experts of the National Alliance of Artificial Intelligence, the ANIA, former member of the Board of Directors of the International Neuroethics Society, and former member of the Board of Directors of the Mexican National Academy of Bioethics. She has been a consultant for the World Health Organization and UNICEF, among other NGOs and universities around the world. Luis Ricardo Sánchez Hernández has a Master in Information and Communication Technologies Law with specialized studies in digital data protection, General Director of Regulations and Consultation at the National Institute of Transparency, Access to Public Information, and Personal Data Protection in Mexico, expert in personal data protection and privacy in various groups and initiatives in Mexico and the OECD. And Ana Hibi Becerril. Ana Hibi is an esteemed professor and consultant specializing in law, ICT, human rights, and international cybersecurity. She has been recognized as a top woman in cybersecurity Latin America, awarded the Women and International Security in Cyberspace Fellowship, by the government of Canada, and she has a fellowship in the European Union. She is a member of the National Alliance of Artificial Intelligence, Women in Cybersecurity Latin America, the Mexican Academy of Cybersecurity and Digital Law, Conectadas, and the EU CyberNet Expert Pool. Her education includes a Bachelor of Law, a doctorate in Law and Globalization, and specializations in AI and Law, Legal Tech, GDPR, and Governance in Human Rights. So the floor is yours, Karen Herrera Ferra.
Thank you, Alejandra, and thank you, AI for Good, for giving us this opportunity so we can share the development of this bill. So first, I'm going to try to share my screen. Okay. I think there is. Okay, so first I'm going to give some context on AI and neurotechnology to try to understand some of the decision making while developing this bill. First of all, as Alejandro already said, we are aware of and fully support the potential benefit of the intersection of AI and neurotech, but we're also aware and concerned about some of the threats and challenges that need to be addressed. So for us to start talking about, for us to understand this issue, we need to talk about three different, or might be seem different topics. First, the nervous system, either the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system, more commonly known as brain. We also need to talk about the mind and the person. And because we are not, if we focus on this organ, we understand that it's different from the heart or kidneys or lungs, because the brain will be in charge, or will be responsible of traits of the mind. What is the mind? The mind is a cerebral expression of emotions, thoughts, behaviors, our capacity of empathic, personal identity, consciousness, free will, decision-making, moral decision-making. And as you can see, the traits of what the mind is are also traits of what we understand as part of the human essence. That means that is part of the person. So as you know, as you see, everything is related. So in this bill, it was decided to define neurotechnology as any technology or procedure that will directly or indirectly, either invasive or non-invasive, will evaluate, that means will read, nervous system, and the mind, will access, manipulate, or modify, that means it will do something on the mind, the brain, and the person. Either the anatomy, physiology of any person or animal, or performs treatment of data about the anatomy and physiology of the peripheral and central nervous system and the mental and cerebral activity. So, as you see in this definition, we are talking about the central and peripheral system, nervous system, we're talking about the mind, and we're talking about the person. The thing is that this neurotechnology that we'll read will give us a lot of data about the nervous system, about the mind, about the person. So we have this data is called, or is known as neurodata. Now, we have some neuroethical concerns regarding all this data and AI. First, we have the concern of this data can be replicated and improved, and also on the other side, it can also be interpreted and give feedback to the neurotechnology. Regarding replicated and improved, that means that this neurodata regarding the nervous system, the mind, and the person will be replicated in the form of AI. And also, it can be improved. So this is one of the concerns. The other one is that, as I said before, this neurotechnology can read brain and mind, but also as it gets the information and all this data, the AI can analyze and have an interpretation of this data, and then will decide what information is going to go back to the neurotechnology so this neurotechnology can do and perform. So this is a huge breakout for medical reasons, but also we know that because of these continuous interactions between AI and neurotech, and because the person is in the center of this two-way continuous interaction, we need to protect. So what do we have to protect? What do we want to protect? We want to protect the nervous system. We want to protect the mind, and we want to protect the person as it is the recipient of every human right. Now, there are two positions. These rights, there's human rights related to the brain, mind, and person are called or are known as neurorights. There are two positions on neurorights. The first position is creating new human rights. So the first position says these human rights the current human rights are not enough. We need to create new ones. And there is another position that says, no, we don't need to create new ones. We need to expand the scope and protection of existing human rights. At the end, both positions, what they want to protect or intend to protect is autonomy. For example, in the choice to use or not use neurotechnology to alter state of consciousness or to alter actions, specifically regarding free will. Also, it wants to protect mental privacy, specifically on sensitive personal data. So as we said, if it is going to read some traits of the mind and the human essence, this is sensitive personal data. Also, these two positions, want to also protect integrity and continuity. That it will be in the form of mental integrity, personal identity, and agency. And they want to protect algorithmic bias. On the development of this bill, what it was decided was to expand the scope and protection of existing human rights. This bill is not about creating new human rights, but expanding current ones. As we know, and as Alejandra just said, Senator Alejandra Lagunes introduced the General Law on Our Rights and Our Technologies Bill on July of this year. This bill, what it intends is to have new articles and amend the existing ones, but in all the legal ecosystem, all the regulatory ecosystem of Mexico. What it was decided based on what I tried to explain right now, Neurorights was defined in this bill as human rights and principles oriented at safeguarding the dignity of persons in relation to the anatomy and physiology of the central and peripheral nervous systems, their mental and cerebral activity, as well as information derived from them against any form of use, evaluation, treatment, intervention, manipulation, or neurotechnological exploitation. So what it was intended to do with this definition is to include the protection for the nervous system, the mind, and the person. Based on this definition, it was decided that the framework of the bill has to be within high ethical and human rights standards. So what it was focused on was on protection of dignity to guarantee transparency, integrity, non-discrimination, equity, reliability, responsiveness, privacy, identity, autonomy, safety, informed consent, and very importantly, to be culturally and contextually consistent with Mexico's realities. Also, this bill is aligned with 5 of the Sustainable Development Goals, namely number 3 of health, 8 of promoting policies, 9 of industry and innovation, 10 to reduce inequalities between among countries, and 16 for peace and justice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen and Luis Ricardo. The floor is yours.
Thank you, also AI for good, and I would like to thank Ale Lagunes for her leadership and courage, as well as all of our colleagues from the expert group whose contributions were fundamental in drafting the general law on neurorights and neurotechnologies in Mexico. I also express gratitude to the institution I belong in, and to the Commissioner Josefina Roman Vergara, whose visionary leadership has advanced data protection in Mexico at both at the national and international levels. Well, the protection of personal data is a cornerstone in safeguarding human dignity in a technological era defined by digital innovation and the challenges posed by neurotechnology. Addressing neurorights comprehensively within the framework of human rights ensures that technology becomes an ally in human development without compromising our most intimate essence. The right to personal data protection has evolved into essential element of human rights. Globally, the need to balance the free flow of data, crucial for the global digital economy and the establishment of a digital state. With the protection of individual privacy, it's exemplified by the General Data Protection Regulation of the European Union. This legal framework is globally oriented, integrating Europe into the broader digital world. This right has extended to most countries and has grown exponentially alongside disruptive technologies powered by connectivity and the internet. This growth fosters a data governance environment that combines regulatory, technical, and ethical aspects to ensure transparent, fair, and dignity-respecting data processing, particularly in a world where data crosses borders effortlessly. The relevance of a specialized authority has increased, with forums such as the Global Privacy Assembly and the Ibero-American Data Protection Network, coordinating efforts at the highest level, influencing the United Nations, the G7, the G20, and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development on topics related to digital economy and citizenship. In Mexico, the right to data protection is enshrined in Article 16 of the Constitution and regulated by two federal laws for private parties and for public sector. While this model is based on European principles, it has the flexibility to address Mexico's international linkage, including its integration with North America under the USMC agreement and its relationships with Latin America and emerging data protection frameworks like the cross-border privacy rules systems. Notably, Mexico is a signatory of Convention 108 of the Council of Europe and its additional protocol. Consequently, Mexico's data protection framework, due its compliance with European standards and adaptability, can be compared to the United Kingdom model. Data processing has acquired new dimensions with the emergence of Web 3.1, 3.0, the semantic web, where system interoperability and artificial intelligence enable unprecedented personalization. In Industry 4, technologies such AI, big data, blockchain, the Internet of Everything, immersive technologies, genetic editing, transhumanism, robotics, automation, and biometrics rely on the exploitation of massive volumes of data to integrate efficiently with users and digital environments. These advancements increase the complexity of establishing rules to ensure safe usage amidst growing markets interest, cybercrime, and emerging risk. Of these technologies, AI has perhaps had the most profound impact, integrating systems and data with transformative capabilities. In neurotechnologies, whether invasive or not invasive, AI become critical for groundbreaking innovations by companies such as Neuralink, Emotive, Kernel, Synchron, and OpenBCA. However, the commercialization of these technologies introduce unprecedented risk, necessitating regulatory updates to address emerging challenges. To align with the Spanish-speaking context, the term neural data was chosen over neurodata to ensure semantic and grammatical precision. Neural data or data are defined as any personal data, record, or information derived from the anatomy or physiology of the central and peripheral nervous system, as well as mental and cerebral activity, including genetic data, neuroimaging, and neural activity patterns obtained through any technology, either directly or indirectly. These data are classified as sensitive personal data, requiring enhanced protections. Informed consent for their use now include a new layer, comprehended concept, with a burden of proof placed on the data processor. Furthermore, the right to object can be exercised by a third party in case of alienation. This framework broadens the scope of protection for personal data, encompassing not just mental freedom, personal identity, and free will, but also equitable access to neurotechnologies and safeguards against bias. The legislative proposal was informed by international experience and included complementary reforms in health, education, labor, consumer rights, public safety, national security, recreational use, and research. Between the key reference includes Chile as a pioneer in the field worldwide. It was a driving force behind the first development championed by Rafael Juste and later with Adorno, Yenka, and the recognition as a constitutional right that will surely be strengthened with its recently approved data protection law, as well as the promotion on the Neurorights Foundation of the model on neurorights for Latin America and the Caribbean. Also, the OECD with the recommendation on responsible innovation in neurotechnology, as well as UNESCO, which since the International Conference of Ethics and Neurotechnology has been taking decisive actions ranging from approaches on artificial intelligence and data ethics in the recommendation on the ethics of artificial intelligence, as well as the recent appointment of an international group of experts to issue recommendations. Also, the Organization of American States, with the Declaration of Neuroscience, Neurotechnologies, and Human Rights, Legal Challenges for the Americas, and the Inter-American Declaration of Principle in the field of neuroscience, neurotechnologies, and human rights. Recently, the Global Privacy Assembly, with the resolution on principles regarding the processing of personal information in neuroscience and neurotechnology, and the recent efforts from the Consultative Committee of Convention 1 of 8 in the UK and the European Supervisor of Data Protection. Finally, I want to share that Neurorights expand fundamental rights through data protection applied to neurotechnologies. They address cognitive autonomy, personal identity, and mental privacy. However, addressing them in isolation may limit their potential to safeguard human dignity. By integrating neurorights into a broader framework of fundamental rights, regulatory efforts can harmonize technological imperatives with ethical principles, particularly when combined with various types of AI. Advancements in neuroscience pose risk as true and emotion manipulation. For example, is it appropriate to talk about digital context nowadays? Because thinking just as reality is made up of particles, molecules, atoms, and energy, its interpretation and knowledge is possible through data, code, and algorithms. That's why protecting personal data is vital for safeguarding autonomy, identity, and the free development of personality, especially in light of findings in genetics, psychology, and quantum physics. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luis. And now, Anahibi, we are listening to you about the cybersecurity, the security in these kind of technologies.
Thank you, Alejandra. I'm going to share my presentation. Just please let me know if you can see it, okay?
Yeah,
Okay,
we can.
well, thank you. Good morning, everyone. And thank you for joining us today presentation of Advancing AI, Neurotech, and Cybersecurity in Mexico's Neurorights Bill. It's an honor, and thank you to AI for Good. It's an honor for me to speak with you today about this pioneering bill that exemplifies Mexico's leadership in addressing the human rights and ethical implications of emerging technologies, the General Law of Neurotechnology and Neurorights. This innovative legislation sets an international precedent for regulating neurotechnologies, AI, and big data under a robust human rights framework. As Karen said before, a world where thoughts, emotions, and cognitive functions are no longer confined to the private realm of our minds, but are instead accessible through advanced technologies, is not science fiction. It has become our reality. The rapid development of neurotechnologies, particularly when integrated with AI, presents significant challenge in the areas of human rights and cybersecurity. As these technologies advance, the protection of neural data and mental integrity has become a critical concern, especially as we begin to use such technologies in more sensitive areas like military and security applications. One of the most pressing issues is the evolving landscape, is the need of robust cybersecurity frameworks that can safeguard human rights as these technologies continue to develop. The protection of mental privacy, autonomy, and freedom of thought is a paramount as we move forward. Today, we will focus on the Neurorights and Neurotechnologies bills and how it addresses this challenge. Specifically, we will explore its provisions related to cybersecurity, cyber neurosecurity, risk management, and the legal implications of neuroweapons and neuroarmament. In our hyper-interconnected digital world, cybersecurity plays a pivotal role in safeguarding human rights. As we see more integration of neurotechnologies in our daily lives, cybersecurity becomes even more crucial to ensure that the sensitive information we generate, specifically neural data, remains protected. In the context of neurotechnologies, the personal neural data we generate exposes significant human rights concerns. These concerns are not just about traditional issues like data breaches, but about much deeper implications related to our mental privacy, autonomy, and freedom of thought. Inadequate cybersecurity in this context opens risks that are not just technological and profoundly ethical. Unauthorized access, manipulation, and exploration of neural data can lead to violations of individuals' dignity and freedoms, threatening fundamental human rights. When these protections are weak, the door opens for the potential of cognitive manipulation, for the invasion of mental privacy, affecting not only individuals, but entire populations, particularly vulnerable groups. Thus, the need of robust cybersecurity system tailored to the unique characteristic of neural data cannot be overstated. In the context of this bill, the concept of cyber neurosecurity has been introduced. This concept specifically addresses the protection of neural data and is designed to elect the fundamental human rights. Now, let's delve into the concept of cyber neurosecurity and its role safeguarding human rights in the age of neurotechnologies. So what's exactly cyber neurosecurity? Cyber neurosecurity refers to an integrated and systematic set of tools, policies, security measures, and best practices specifically designed to guarantee the integrity, confidentiality, and availability of the interaction between neurotechnologies, users, and the neural data obtained from these technologies. Unlike traditional cybersecurity, which focuses on the protection of general data, cyber neurosecurity is concerned with the secure and ethical handling of neural data. These technologies, devices, neurotechnologies, devices or systems that are designed to interact with the brain must be used with great caution. It's essential that they are implemented in a manner that respects both the security and the neural data and the dignity of individuals. Cyber neurosecurity ensures that these systems are not only technically secure, but also ethically sound, preventing unauthorized access and ensuring that no one can tamper with or manipulate cognitive functions. In this context, there are three key human rights that must be safeguarded through cyber neurosecurity: mental privacy, autonomy, and integrity. The bill also outlines critical risk management measures that must be adopted by developers and operators of neurotechnologies. The law mandates that all neurotechnologies undergo rigorous risk assessment to identify and mitigate potential security threats. These assessments should cover both data protection and mental integrity. In addition to these assessments, the law requires that continuous monitoring and audits of neurotechnology applications take place. These measures ensure that neurotechnologies comply with ethical and security standards. Proactive measures, such as responding to potential cyber attacks or breaches of privacy, must also be in place to prevent the unethical manipulation of neurodata. One of the most concerning aspects of neurotechnology integration is the potential of these technologies in military and security applications, particularly in the development of neuroweapons and neuroarmaments. Neuroweapons are technologies capable of directly influencing or altering individuals' neural activity, whether through invasive or non-invasive means, and often without consent. By the other way, neuroarmament, on the other hand, refers to weapons or devices designed to manipulate cognitive functions, emotions, or mental states for strategic purposes. The bill directly addresses the risks posed for these technologies, emphasizing that the importance of regulating the use to ensure they do not infringe upon fundamental human rights. The bill proposes a legal framework that specifically prohibits the development, use, or deployment of neuroweapons or neuroarmaments that violate human dignity or human rights. The key provisions include the provision of using neurotechnology for military purposes that manipulate cognitive or emotional states without consent, the strict regulation of neurotechnologies in defense to ensure that they are not used to extend coercive control over individuals or groups, and international cooperation is emphasized to prevent the proliferation of neuroarmaments and ensure that these technologies are not used in a way that violates international humanitarian law or undermine global security. Final considerations. In conclusion, as neurotechnologies continue to evolve, it's imperative that we develop robust legal frameworks to address the emerging risks of neuroweapons, neuroarmaments, and cybersecurity incidents. The General Law of Neurotechnology and Neurorights represents a visionary step forward harmonizing technological innovation with human rights. By emphasizing ethical and robust data protection, it sets a high standard for global legislative efforts. The bill serves as a pioneer model of how governments can integrate cyber neurosecurity with human rights protections, ensuring that these powerful technologies are developed and used responsibly for the benefit of all, without compromising human dignity and fundamental freedoms. I invite all stakeholders, academic, policymakers, and technologists to engage with this critical conversation and collaborate in shaping a future where technology empowers rather than exploits the human condition. Together, we can ensure that innovation and integrity go hand by hand. I look forward to discuss these critical issues further, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Anahibi. And next, we are going to have a panel, a conversation panel. But I would like to talk a little about the Mexican AI Alliance and National Alliance, the ANIA. So the conversations and debates of hundreds of experts of all sectors and disciplines in the National AI Alliance highlighted the urgent need to address the profound societal implications of artificial intelligence, a general-purpose technology with transformative potential across every sector of society. One of the most important and transversal topics was neurotechnologies. So within the ANIA, we formed an interdisciplinary international working group to build the bill. The uniqueness of this law lies in its core objective of protecting the biological areas and activities of the nervous system. The bill is designed to evolve with future neuroscientific discoveries and neurotechnological capabilities. It establishes a fundamental protection framework based on the effects, the outputs of neurotechnologies. This initiative reflects a proactive legislative vision, anticipating challenges before they arise, ensuring that innovation is balanced with the protection of fundamental rights, and positioning Mexico as a global leader in Neurorights and technology governance. It was meticulously drafted in accordance with the highest ethical and human rights standards. The bill introduces 92 new articles and amendments to 35 existing regulations across 8 general laws, including health, work, education, science, technology and innovation, protection of industrial property, protection of personal data, administrative responsibilities, and victims' rights. It also makes changes to one federal law against organized crime and one federal code, the criminal code, and the law addresses new concepts, emerging criminal activities, and novel discriminatory profiling, and establishes sanctions and penalties proportional to the offenses. Furthermore, it seeks to precisely regulate the use of neurotechnologies and harmonize existing laws, aligning Mexico with global legislative advancements while taking into account the International Conference on the Ethics of Neurotechnology organized by UNESCO. The ethos of this bill is reflected in its 200-page, where key terms such as consent, information, ethical standards, human rights, and safety are consistently emphasized. Cybersecurity, as we listened, is positioned as the foundation for neural data security and privacy, with the creation of Neuroethics and Neurolaw Commission as a regulatory and supervisory body. It also emphasizes the proper management of personal data and the responsible use and development of technology, ensuring the preservation of human dignity and respect for profound human values. These principles are integrated into the Mexican legal system and aligned with international perspectives. Neuroethics and neurolaw are essential filters to address a broad spectrum of concerns: ethical, medical, legal, social, cultural, economic, political, public safety, and national defense. To guarantee proper supervision and minimize corrupt practices, specific responsibilities were attributed to different interinstitutional regulatory bodies, including the Ministry of Health, the Federal Commission for Protection Against Health Risks, and the National Institute for Transparency, Access to Public Information, and Personal Data Protection. The main risks associated with the unregulated use of neurotechnologies include violation of privacy, mental manipulation, discrimination and inequality, security risks and neuroweapons, manipulation of perceptions, ideas and decisions, erosion of identity and human dignity, technological dependence, vulnerability to cyber attacks, impact on mental health, lack of informed consent. We prohibit the prohibitions are surveillance, biometric uses, profiling of individuals or groups using neural data, automated decision-making based on neural data, neuromarketing, examining or analyzing a person's thoughts, intentions, or cognitive processes using neurotechnologies or other advanced methods without the individual's full awareness or consent, personal recruitment, and neuroweapons. This initiative sanctions the storage of neural data without consent, brain hacking without consent, pharmacological use of neurotechnologies. So this work leaves a solid legacy, offering a comprehensive framework to address the challenges and the opportunities presented by neurotechnologies, and ensures that Mexico and the world moves forward safely and ethically in one of the areas that will define the future of humanity. So in this regard, Karen, from a neuroethics point of view, what contributions and non-negotiables do you consider most relevant in this bill?
Thank you, Alejandra. Well, first of all, because neuroethics is a very interdisciplinary field, therefore the study will be interdisciplinary. It will be a study of the ethical, legal, social, cultural, psychological, medical, philosophical, all the issues that you already stated, of the research, development, and use of neuroscience, neurotechnology, and AI, some forms of AI. Therefore, the contribution was and is and will be the strict and continuous ethical, social, legal, economic, political, policy making, and human rights analysis of the profound impact of neurotechnologies and AI on all dimensions of the human being, and therefore of the evolution of humanity. And therefore, after the outcome of this analysis will be, or will neuroethics, what we'll do is to bring an ethical approach to this outcome and to address current and anticipated threats, risks, and challenges. So to ensure safe and the safe development and use of these technologies for the nervous system, for the mind, for the person, within an ethical and human rights framework. So the creation of this Neuroethics and Neurolaw Commission as an interdisciplinary and intersectoral supervisory body is essential and also, I believe, non-negotiable. This will give a truly safe and ethical guideline and supervision for every single area that where the general law will have an impact.
Thank you, Karen. And Anahibi, we have a question from Francisco Rosero. He says, a lot of people talks about neurorights and regulation laws. No, this one is for Karen. What about neuroethics?
On regards what, Ale? I'm sorry.
It says, a lot of people talks about neurorights, regulation laws. What about the neuroethics?
Yeah, that's I think that I tried to maybe answer part of it that before it was asked on regards what neuroethics does. Neuroethics brings this, it's a platform that brings all these disciplines so it can debate and dialogue and challenge and address every single aspect of these neurotechnologies. So therefore, law will be part of the legal issues, specifically human rights will, and human rights regarded or related to the brain and mind, for the protection of the brain and mind. It's, as we said, it's neurorights, and we in this bill it was defined in a way that was trying to include everything that we needed to protect under the analysis and scrutiny of neuroethics. So it's we bring all together. I mean, it might seem a little bit confusing to have all these concepts involved or embedded in this bill, but it is because of the complexity of what we want to protect that all these concepts are tools, specific tools that were designed to be embedded in this bill and to be helpful and to be aligned with all the legal ecosystem in Mexico. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, thank you. Anahibi, in the context of the Mexican General Law on Neurorights and Neurotechnologies, how is the concept of cyber neurosecurity defined? And what measures are proposed to prevent discrimination, profiling, and breaches of privacy related to neural data?
Thank you, Alejandra. Well, the bill introduces cyber neurosecurity as a framework for protecting neural data through secure technologies and methodologies designed to prevent unauthorized access of manipulations. It emphasized the need of transparent, secure, and ethical practices in the collection, storage, and processing of neural data. So cyber neurosecurity is not merely a collection of isolated measures. Neither cyber neurosecurity isn't, but rather a holistic framework that combines different components, tools, policies, measures, and practices in coordinated manner. The concept includes the interaction between neurotechnologies, users, and neural data. This aspect is really important because it highlights the dynamic interaction among the neurotechnologies, devices, and systems, users, individuals interacting with the technology, and the neural data that is generated or captured by these technologies. Another specific measures include the enforcement of transparency in AI algorithms, ensuring data is used fairly and without bias, and implementing robust privacy protections to prevent discriminations or profiling. The law also sets the guidelines for the management of neural data that align with human rights, particularly privacy and non-discrimination principles. Thank you.
And Anahibi, there's one, cyber neurosecurity sounds right in the sense of protecting specifically neural data in the cyberspace. What about protection in the physical world?
Well, remember that cybersecurity, in this impact, cyber security not only secures the digital world, but also the physical world. We're talking about users, we're talking about the hardware and the software, we're talking about infrastructure. So that's why we say it's a whole holistic framework. It's not only one thing or only digital thing. When we talk about cybersecurity, and this is one of the concepts I think is the most appropriate concept of cybersecurity, and we can translate it into cyber security. It's one of the international telecommunications union gives, is that cybersecurity is a whole, there are tool practices, policies that you can claim to not only protect, for example, actives of one organization, but also you can protect systems and hardware. So that's why cyber security puts all this concept all together, and we can protect it both. And one thing I think is more important is that in this concept, we include the protections of users, the protections of people that not all cybersecurity concepts have it together. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you, Anahibi. Luis, what is the importance of having guarantees in the protection of personal data to safeguard human rights in the face of neurotechnologies?
Well, as Karen and Anahibi has said, neurotechnologies, by accessing intimate data such as thoughts, emotions, and mental states, can threaten fundamental rights like autonomy, privacy, and freedom of thought. Robust guarantees in personal data protection regulate the access, use, and manipulation of such data, preventing abuses and ensuring of these technologies development respects human dignity and the principles of equity and non-discrimination.
And Luis, should neural data be included and protected by a general personal data law? It is correct. INAI in Mexico has been closed already by the government. So, what are the proposals that we are doing in the bill?
Taking as before said in the intervention, we take taking count two principal at the heart of this initiative. We have two main concepts: personal data and processing. About neural data or neural data, we have strong measures, and these concepts serve as foundational pillars, facilitating integration with various laws and govern the use and the protection mechanisms of our data. In the context of neurotechnologies, the legislation specifically aims to ensure secure interactions with these technologies while addressing the areas targeted by Neurorights protection. By doing so, the reforms ensure that the legal framework could effectively manage the challenges posed by neurotechnologies, safeguarding individual rights such as cognitive privacy, mental integrity, and free thought. This alignment with international standards reflected Mexico's commitment to a forward-looking, rights-based approach that embraces technological advancements responsibly. Also, Ali, if you give me time for this, I want to share the importance of personal data protection authorities. That's because the protection of personal data or data is essential in safeguarding human rights amidst the rise of disruptive technologies, particularly given the potential for misuse. One emblematic case is Cambridge Analytica, where personal data from millions of Facebook users was exploited to influence electoral outcomes without their consent. This case highlights how the misuse of data could infringe on individual rights to privacy, autonomy, and even democratic participation. That's only the previous scenario to neurotechnologies. They use to data to get influence of the minds of the mind of the people, and how it was one data protection authority who that could stop these practices, these bad practices. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you. And Karen, brain, the question is, brain is not all nervous system. Brain is a part of the nervous system within the skull, not all of it. Just for terminology precision, the brain is not the seat of the mind, or how do you define it?
No, of course. That's why we decided, or it was decided on the bill to be specific within central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. That way we are targeting a system, not an organ. And regards to brain, it's because it's commonly known. So if you see or if you look for all these great international projects, the one in the US, the one in the European Union, in Australia, Canada, China, Japan, and South Korea. Those are the main international initiatives. All of them are called BRAIN. They have BRAIN in their name. So it is more like for common understanding. This is not for technicity. So we do understand encephalus, but you know, this is trying to be a term. We are continuing to use this term as trying to be aligned with the international initiatives. Again, all of them, if you look for them, all of them have brain in the name, but all of them refer to the central and the peripheral nervous system. So that's why we have this explicitly explained in the bill, so it could be understand to when it's going to be used for legislators and general public. But yeah, this is not, I mean, if we were in a maybe Congress of Neurosurgery, we will using the specific terms. But of course, we are not saying that just the brain, you know, that's why we use it, because of aligning it. And we use it in this, as we speak in the lectures, but in the bill is very, very explicitly explained that we are referring to the system, the whole system, not just the brain. But again, it's just for let's say academic purposes, not academic purposes, but public purposes.
Thank you, Karen. And how can cybersecurity frameworks and cyber neurosecurity ensure the protection of neural data and safeguard individual autonomy, privacy, and mental integrity in the face of neurotechnologies and artificial intelligence?
Thank you, Alejandra. Well, cybersecurity frameworks must adapt to the unique vulnerabilities posed by neurotechnologies and the threats that they pose, particularly in safeguarding neural data against unauthorized access or manipulation. Traditional cybersecurity measures, for example, which primarily focus on protecting data, may be not sufficient due to the highly sensitive and intimate nature of neural data. To address this, specialized protocols need to be developed. For example, we are working, or there are institutions working on AI trustworthy standards. We have to develop different standards, including encryption, secure storage, and safe transmission of neural data, along with the real-time monitoring of data access and use. These measures must be beyond conventional data protection strategies to ensure the integrity and confidentiality of neural information. In this context, cybersecurity plays a critical role to ensuring the secure handling of neural data, thus protecting individual mental integrity, autonomy, and privacy. It prevents unauthorized access to neural data, safeguarding individuals from potential mental manipulation and the loss of cognitive autonomy. Moreover, it secures individuals' right to control their own neural data, ensuring that it's not only used in ways that respect personal dignity, privacy, and consent. So neurosecurity is essential for the responsible use of neurotechnologies, ensuring that the evolving landscape of AI and neurotechnologies does not undermine fundamental human rights. Thank you.
Thank you. And Luis, what are the key aspects of having a specialized legislation on neurorights and neurotechnologies to enhance the spectrum of personal data protection and privacy?
Thank you, Ale. Yes, specialized legislation on neurorights recognize the uniqueness of neurodata or neural data and its implications, establishes a specific regulation for their collection, processing, and storage, and strengthens protection against emerging risks such as cognitive manipulation or unauthorized access to the human mind, and expands the scopes of existing rights to include mental privacy and cognitive autonomy, essential in the age of neuroscience. In addition to the legal measure mentioned, it is essential to expand the analysis and definition of the objectives and values that reflects what it means to be human from a philosophical perspective. The focus should not be on prohibiting neurotechnologies, but rather on guiding their development and application in a way that aligns with human dignity and well-being. This approach involves defining and understanding the essence of humanity, a topic explored by various authors, such as the popular Yuval Noah Harari. No, thank you.
And this one, and the last one, this one is for all of you. Francisco Rosero says, congratulations, but why do you decide to mix so many terms on the same bill? AI, neurotech, cyber neurosecurity, data protection, neurorights, human rights, etc., when each one of them is a big topic by itself.
If I may,
Yes.
Yeah, the intention was not to mix. It was to, every single one of them are an essential tool to achieve what the general law wants to achieve, which is to be, to protect and truly protect, responsibly protect, ethically protect, and within the human rights framework, again, the nervous system, the mind, and the person. And because it is the complexity and all the unknowns that are in these issues, that we don't know a lot of things, we use all of this as layers of security and tools to really and truly achieve what we wanted to protect in the general law, and for this general law to be easily easily embedded in all the Mexican regulations. And it is not like a mix. There are tools. Each one is specifically stated, and it was chosen specifically chosen and studied.
So thank you, Karen, Anahibi, Luis Ricardo, for this panel. Thank you for AI for Good, for letting us present the Mexican bill. As neurotechnologies unlock new frontiers of the human mind, it is our duty to ensure that these innovations elevate human rights, preserving the essence of our identity and safeguarding the freedoms that define us as humanity. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ale.
Thank you for participating in today's AI for Good session. We hope you've learned something new, innovative, and engaging in today's event. We now encourage you to continue the conversation on the live video wall in the neural network. Here you can ask questions, like and comment, share links, complete the poll, connect with interesting profiles, or speak one-on-one using the chat and video function. We invite you to explore the lobby, try the smart matching quiz, visit the virtual exhibits, poster boards, the eShop, and build your personalized AI for Good program. Let's shape the future of AI for Good.
you.